You've probably heard of the 24-hour rule when it comes to editing your writing. After you have finished a draft, you let it sit for 24 hours before you go back in to edit it because your mind will be more clear and you'll do a better job. And it is a great rule. I use it all the time. It's smart. You should do that. But if you are more crunched for time, because if you look at a lot of professional writers and you think, well, wait a minute, don't they have to turn things around the same day? Don't they have to work a lot quicker? And the answer is yes. A lot of professional writers have to do really sharp, high quality, polished writing the same day. Often, in a really short, it depends on the profession, but it can be a really short amount of time. So I think that the 24-hour rule is a luxury. When I can do that in my work, yeah, it's a great default, but it is a luxury, especially for people who are aiming to work in more fast-paced environments where they have to write quicker, and not just write quicker, but do good writing quicker. So this exercise is sort of a sped-up version of the 24-hour rule. And you could take a day to do this. Say your writing day is Sunday. Here's an exercise that you can do throughout the day. So you would take 1 hour to finish a draft of whatever a complete piece of writing looks like to you. It could be a blog post, a video script, an ad, a sales page copy, a poem, even though my videos are for nonfiction writers. Whatever is complete to you, I'd recommend 300 to 500 words, but again, you know what complete looks like. So take an hour to do that and make it a full draft, because sometimes my drafts early on are like 3 words and a doodle. I'm like, that's all I can write today. That's all I can fit in. I consider that my draft. I'm talking about further along in the writing process, so a complete draft for 1 hour. Then take 2 to 3 hours. Did I do that with the fingers correctly? 2 to 3 hours to do something else. It could be other work if you have other work to do that day. It could be leisure time, but take 2 to 3 hours doing something completely different from working on that piece of writing. And then go back and spend 1 hour editing it. And it could be rewriting parts, even though the first draft seemed complete and full and someone could read it and it would make sense, you might find things that you want to edit, or rewrite completely. To spend 1 hour doing that. Then take a 1 hour break, a little bit shorter break this time, but do something completely different from the writing. Whatever you feel like doing. You can meditate. I will plug my other channel. I'll put the name here. My other channel that creates meditation music is Quartz Sound LA. Boom, boom, boom. If you want to take a 7-minute meditation break during your hour and do that, you can. And then come back to your piece of writing, and this is the final stretch where you take 1 more hour and you proofread it really carefully to make sure that all the names are spelled correctly, punctuation is on point, grammar, all that good stuff. And that should, depending on how long of a break you took the first time, that should be 7 hours or less than 7 hours. And so it's a sped up version of the 24-hour rule, but when you practice this over time, what you'll see is the whole process gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And you start to see how professional writers can turn around high quality polished writing in a shorter period of time, because we've already taken it down. I can't do the math right now, about a third from the 24-hour rule, and did it in a 7-hour period. But when you practice it over and over, it gets faster, and it's a really satisfying thing to see as you monitor your progress. So if you want more practical writing tips and editing tips like this every Wednesday, hit the subscribe button below the video and tap the notification bell so that you get a note every time I publish new writing advice on Wednesdays. Wednesdays, that's the day of the week that I publish. I will see you next week.